What is up, guys? NYK31 here, bringing you an installment of Madden 15, 16, and beyond slash Football 101. And I'm going to kind of do this in the future, combine these Madden, fill in the blanks, and beyond, and Football 101 together to both teach principles of the sport as well as to show things that the game needs to do consistently better or needs to outright improve upon. I'm going to go over a couple of topics in this particular video. In this first one, I'm going to illustrate a good example in this game of defenders reacting to play action and not cheating to recover. I'm playing on all Madden, and we all know what happens in all Madden. You get the attack of the psychic defender, and I was encouraged with what I saw out of some video of Madden 16 where I saw people running play action pass, and when defenders did react to the play fake, they didn't just automatically recover and be able to have best of both to be able, and they weren't able to have best of both world defense, you know. And of course, you want play rec to factor into this, as well as the QB's play action pass rating and all that good stuff. But here's a good example. I'm up against what's going to be a cover two, and I'm running a play action double cross to your left. Y'all know how I roll by now. I am a spread guy. And you see the linebacker here commits the cardinal cover two sin. He is going to bite on that play fake, which gives me the throwing lane to get it over his head and score the touchdown. No cheating, no shifting, no, I know what play you're running, and as a result, I'm going to, disrespect play rec and play action pass ratings. It played out nice and clean. And that's what you need to see. You want to see ratings, technique, and situation all mesh to form a football nirvana. That's what we all want. I don't care how you feel about the game. And with this, we got it. And, we see too much in this game, especially on all Madden difficulty level, when you're playing the CPU, of the CPU being in your huddle. And football gaming, sports gaming in general, have to get away from that and make you feel like you're playing a user. I feel like Pez is just the best out of any game. When I'm playing against Pez, I feel like I need to out-execute the CPU. And that's how this should be. But in this case, we got that. Dialed up a good play. I had a good play dialed up against a coverage that would present it with challenges. I have a slot whip and a deep comeback being run to the other end, or to the other side rather. I mean, that's carried pretty nicely, and if this wasn't opened up either on this level or this level, I could, attack here and get what I could get. And I was rewarded with the touchdown. Wasn't cheated with any psychic defender or any of that good stuff. And Stafford with the fist pump. Good job, Matty. Okay, in clip number 2 here, we're going to talk about defense, and we're going to discuss things that need to be done better and hopefully are going forward, if not in the very near future, like August 24th, or whenever the heck the game comes out in late August. But several months ago, Someone asked me if I could go into more detail as far as what Liz Rip pattern match means, and the reason why he did so is because I essentially worship at the altar of two defensive coordinators, or two defensive coaches, I should say, or defensive-minded coaches would be the most accurate term. The altar of Monty Kiffin and the altar of Nick Saban. And I came up with a set of audibles and adjustments to the 3-4 playbook that I was using, the Baltimore Ravens, that allowed me to best mimic the 3-4 base defense, pattern matching style of defense that Nick Saban likes to play, the Liz Rip pattern match especially. And I really can't do it as optimum as I would like. I need to make adjustments to plays, have audibles that I really would rather not have in there. But the whole idea is to not be outnumbered down the seams. And in the real world, you do this by combo coveraging out of zone. For example, 3 deep against the dreaded 4 verts. Logic would dictate that you're outnumbered. 4 vertical threats, 3 deep receivers. However, the Liz Rip pattern match style that Mr. Saban developed while he was coaching under Bill Belichick with the Cleveland Browns, in order to help minimize the shreddage that 4 verts would do to spot drought cover 3, basically calls for, let me get back to the play. The hook and curl flat defenders to the receiving strength to redirect and match any vertical threat to a depth of around 15 yards or so at the most before flowing to rally to anything underneath. For example, in 3 deep here, we have, deep third with this corner against any number 1 threat or any flag or deep out run by the slots. We have our first slot defender here, who's a curl flat defender. His job is to, before flying out to account for any flat receiving threat, his job is to first reroute any vertical release from number 2 and carry him to a depth of around 10 to 15 at the bare minimum. And if he keeps going vertical, play him man-to-man. If he breaks off to the flat, he's a normal curl flat defender. If he breaks off inside, he spills and looks for work. Same thing with the hook defender to the side of number 3. Identifies seam release, redirects it towards traffic, matches if he threatens vertical. If he breaks off to the outside, he leaves him to the curl flat defender. If he breaks inside, he has hopefully redirected him towards help in the form of this dude here. So when we run the play, you get your jam and your redirect, but he does not follow. And that creates the window here for the vertical seam. This is a bit better here. He redirects, matches a little bit, then comes off to recognize this threat here, and he has help here. So if I threw it here, he has a chance to break on the ball, or this guy has a chance to knock the receiver's head off if I throw it here. But because this defender here plays the flat, instead of carrying for another 5 to 10 yards, bare minimum, I have this window to get this vertical seam here. Now what they did to try to compensate for this is they sped up the reactions of this guy. This defender here can damn near play both these receivers. And let me tell you, and you've all seen it, I've thrown INTs with like this, and I've gotten INTs like this as well. If you got a good defender here, he will play them both. He will come off here and he will jump and pick this off. Let's get rid of that and let's do it properly. Have him have the procedural awareness to match the vertical release down the seam. And if he is at that point at an athletic disadvantage, so be it. But the idea is to squeeze these vertical windows and essentially play man coverage and zone at the same time. You're playing combo coverage underneath, 3 deep on the back end, and you rally to anything underneath. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, well, aren't you going to be open to shallow crosses and whatnot? Yes, you are. You're not going to be able to account for everything, but any defense at any level will gladly give up the 5-yard shallow cross and rally to it. They'll do that all day because they know that what's going to happen is an offense and a user is going to get bored, frustrated, and do something stupid downfield. It's human nature. It happens all the time. It happens every week at every level of football. So that's what we need to see going forward. Madden 16 and beyond. All right, another defensive clip. Cover 3 press. Cover 3 press is a nice addition to the play calling toolkit. If you mix in a lot of cover 1 and cover 3 press, you can definitely do some very good things. One problem: there is a tendency for the corner to bail to the inside. That can't happen. All of his help is to the inside. There's no reason for him to be playing inside leverage. He has to be doing the best he can to put some type of obstruction to any outside release. He's the only one on that deep third. So he has to either be through body contact, leveraging the receiver to the sideline as best he can, or through body positioning. Richard Sherman is a master at this. He's the prototypical cornerback for a cover 3 press style. He has great length. He's impeccable with his technique as far as positioning his body and doing a shuffle bail. Many times he's able to leverage the receiver to the outside without having to put a hand on him. And he also has great reach. So when he does have to put a hand on him, when he gets caught out of position, there's not a whole lot of space. But in this scenario here, you see what happens. This is an outside release streak here, and I have T.Y. Hilton out here. So the second this guy takes a false step, he's done. He's got no chance. So better leverage on these cover 3s. If I'm not able to assign the coverage leverage, which you can shade the zones to the outside. That'll do it for you. But on default, they should be looking to leverage that outside as best that their ability enables them to do so. And then if they're not good enough to play out there, they're not good enough. And then use the coverage audible to shade outside to give him more help. But off the jump, he needs to be playing his press bail with the intent to redirect him toward the sideline as best he can. And unfortunately, that's going to have to be it for this edition. Something happened to my 4th clip, and it started to crash my Vegas Movie Studio software whenever I tried to include it in the uploads. So that's going to have to do it for this one. Yeah, but yeah, this is how I roll, folks. Try to bring some football knowledge and football talk to the table. implement it into the virtual world as best you can and have myself a jolly old time. So, anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will speak to you later. Bye.